How'd you do it, Waller? There's no soldiers out here on patrol at all.
Let's just say they were distracted.
Warner Bros. Gives us a second Suicide Squad movie, which was directed by James Gunn, who also directed Guardians of the Galaxy. This movie is supposed to be a sequel slash reboot for the first Suicide Squad after the disaster that the first one was. And seeing how well James Gunn directed Guardians of the Galaxy and how he's able to make ridiculous characters fun and interesting, there was hope that Suicide Squad could be redeemed. And I think that it was. This version of the Suicide Squad is far more sophisticated than the first one. You can clearly see improvement. In the first few minutes of the movie, you can clearly tell that it's completely different from what we got in 2016. The characters are far more interesting. And yes, that's down to the writing being better. But in this case, I think you gotta give credit to the actors. They really pulled it off with their roles. They knew exactly what characters they were playing. These are not characters to be taken seriously. They are considered to be the lesser known villains of the DC universe. They are ridiculous and quite forgettable. And in the Suicide Squad is where they get to have their spotlight. The actors portrayed them in a quirky way, but they weren't trying too hard to be edgy. It felt natural. It felt like these were just common criminals who happened to have extraordinary and weird abilities. The dialogues were believable, and there were these moments of character development where I would grow to care about them individually. You learn that these people have tragic lives, which led them to live a life of crime, and you empathize with them. And them being in the Suicide Squad means that anybody could die at any moment during the mission. This film makes it very clear that their lives are expendable. They start out with a very big team, and half of them die within the first half of the movie. Of course, they treat the main characters with some plot armor, but you still have that feeling that no one is safe. The comedy was delivered well for the most part. I was laughing throughout the entire movie because of how ridiculous these characters are and how they interact with each other. This movie, it doesn't force you to take them seriously. It instead allows you to laugh at them. The John Cena playing the character Peacemaker was actually good. He was having fun with his role, and his delivery and speech was hilarious at times. King Shark is this humanoid shark beast. Watching the trailer, all I could think was, how could I ever take this character seriously? And then while watching the movie, I realized that I'm not supposed to take it seriously. King Shark is believable in the universe that he exists in, and they made him a likable character. This movie has one of the best interpretations of Harley Quinn so far, along with her movie Birds of Prey. Margot Robbie has always been the perfect casting choice for Harley Quinn. She looks like the character and she acts like the character accurately, but it also depends on who's writing her. She was a parody in the first Suicide Squad movie. I really appreciate how James Gunn changed her costume back into her 90s classic black and red. The only problem I have with this movie is who was chosen as the villain. The main antagonist, the main villain of this movie is Starro. Starro is an alien shaped like a starfish. It's a threat to Earth. Its only goal is to conquer planets. The movie ended with the Suicide Squad being the heroes by defeating Starro. And I just think that for the Suicide Squad, this is way out of their league. This should have been a job for the Justice League. Earth is under an alien attack, and the Suicide Squad are just a bunch of quirky criminals. The Justice League are godlike superheroes. Their one job is to protect Earth from evil aliens. Starro is supposed to be a Justice League villain. I just thought it was not believable that while Earth is being attacked by aliens, none of the Justice League members show up to do something about it. Neither Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, especially Green Lantern. Like, none of them make an appearance. Like, this is one of their main villains attacking Earth, and none of them show up. It's like they never existed. I get it. James Gunn wanted it to be a spectacular final battle, and it was a good ending, but it would have made more sense if they faced off a villain that was down on their level. The Suicide Squad reboot is an improvement. It's a little weird because they didn't state that it is a reboot, but it's obvious that it is. They don't call this Suicide Squad 2. The title just says The Suicide Squad. They don't make any references to the events of the first movie. It's like they want the audience to forget that the first one exists. It's like they're telling us, forget about this. This is the Suicide Squad. I want to hear your opinion. Do you like this version of the Suicide Squad, and do you think it's an improvement?